definitely will hear me say that again. But we're going to get the time on the clock. Game 1 is going to get underway as K9 meets with Scrooms in the middle. Scrooms not able to get that second touch. Bolby's going to be going through. Nick Knock does get a clear over to the side, but Picasso's there for the 50. Nice touch there. Nick Knock gets the read off of the wall from K9's hit, and Scrooms will be going up to take a shot on net. This is really dangerous for the side of Violence, but they are able to get it out. It is going to be Violence on the blue side, and it's going to be the Kodiaks on the orange side. Right out the gate here, Rex. Kodiaks actually surprisingly kind of taking a little bit of control here on the offensive side.
Yeah, they definitely have been taking those shots. I mean, they've already got 3 in the first 30 seconds, so they are looking to play some offense this game. Although I do have kind of a thing where I think they're just kind of feeling the other team out. Violence might, I mean, they have a dribble play right now, one-on-one.
And K9, we were talking about the offensive pressure coming out of Kodiaks, but K9 takes the ball with very little, actually I think almost no boost. Does get the pop over the top of Nick Knock. Really tough save to make there if you are Nick Knock. And that's 1-0 in favor of the Violence side. And right out the gate, you know, despite the pressure coming out of the Kodiaks, they do find themselves down here, Rex.
Yeah, I mean, you can put as many shots on net as you want as long as they, you know, don't go in. It doesn't matter how many shots, right? So, you know, I mean, K9, that was an excellent dribble. He just knew when to take possession of the ball, and then he dropped it right in the net over, I think, Papa Khan there.
Yep. Definitely was a really good read on the play, good control. It is definitely kind of something that you're going to see a lot more of in elite, you know, major, those upper tiers as you start to see better control of the ball. But we do have the Kodiaks trying their best to get this game even. Papa Khan up with a little bit of a dangerous challenge, but Nick Knock does manage to get back for the third man position. Papa Khan going to receive the pass from Nick Knock. Does have the boost, but gets bumped there on the side. It allows K9 to get to that ball. Bolby not able to get up to the pass out to the middle, but K9 does take control of it. A nice shot coming out from Picasso, just off, but that's really dangerous. Papa Khan didn't get quite out of there. But Scrooms, great save from them. And then a clear from Scrooms coming out as well for Papa Khan to get the 50 on K9 for. Bolby looking to take control of this ball. Does send it down the right side. This is dangerous. He definitely has the capabilities of putting those shots in, but doesn't get an opportunity here. Nick Knock sends it out. Picasso there in the midfield. Definitely kind of gave up control there, but Nick Knock will get an opportunity for another touch. Gets it. Papa Khan up quickly. Gets over the top of K9. Gets the double. Is coming in. Trying to get the pass out mid. Does get it close, but Nick Knock probably smartly doesn't go. But a little bit of a double commit coming out of here. And Nick Knock does get the clear away. Picasso bringing it back towards the middle. Tries to get through, and the danger is, not quite abated yet. Papa Khan didn't get the full clear out, but Scrooms is there to help. And, you know, like, Kodiaks, they're definitely here trying to get good opportunities, but it's not really coming that easily for them. They got a lot of this, they probably have more time possession on the offensive side, but none of these shots have really been super threatening from them, Rex.
Yeah, they haven't. It's just because they're not really seeing each other. Violence has had this really great offensive game, as though, I mean, they have just a few more shots than the Kodiaks, but the way they move the ball up the field and the way they see each other, that's really what's making the difference here, and that's why they, you know, they're feeling the pressure there on Kodiaks.
Yeah, definitely have a lot of pressure coming from the side of Violence, but the Kodiaks are definitely in this game. Papa Khan gets the touch. K9 smartly goes back to Shadow and gets an easy controlled clear out of there. But Nick Knock has an opportunity off of the Scrooms bump. Picasso is there, gets the save, sends it over to Bolby, who gets a great flick over the top of Papa. And this is really dangerous here. Bolby gets the pass to mid, doesn't really get it all the way through those Scrooms. Very good interception there by them. Nick Knock takes control. Scrooms trying to be blocker here, trying to get pushed out and get into the secondary, but does not make it. Picasso out to mid, but this is a dangerous touch. Papa Khan puts a shot on the backside of the net. K9 there to save it, but Nick Knock is ready to put it back into the middle, trying to stay on that offensive side of Violence. But Picasso does get the goal, gets it from the pass on K9, right over the top of the Kodiak defender, which was Papa Khan. And that's 2-0 Violence with 54 seconds left to go, and that is not what you want to see if you're the Kodiaks here, Rex.
Yeah, but they are not out of it yet. They still have plenty of time. 2 goals is not that hard. You know, all you need is one, and then you know, one more is like it it's just one goal gives you way more momentum than you think, especially if you're down by 2.
Yeah.
So Kodiaks, I mean, they have a really good ground game. So if Nick Knock and Scrooms can keep beating up Picasso, K9, and Bolby, maybe they sink one or 2 or 3 to come back and possibly win.
Yeah, definitely opportunities there. They're going to have to be a little bit aggressive here, though, as we get to the 20-second mark. Picasso, that's a great interception for them. Definitely really needed. Not the best touch up mid, but Picasso gets a good 50 to delay time here. And that's really what's going on right here, Rex. Pretty much it's just time delay at this point for Violence, trying not to give them an opportunity to get that one momentum goal you were talking about, but instead they're going to score a goal of their own. Picasso off the backboard read makes it 3-0 and pretty much essentially seals this game 1 for the Violence side. And that's tough, but at this point I think that if you're the Kodiaks, you just kind of have to get ready for game 2 here, Rex.
Yeah, I mean, really, you got to give it up to Violence and Picasso there for that last goal. Like that is some insane possession play that they've had. I mean, K9 with his dribble goal to keep the ball on top of his car for the first goal to kick off the match, and then Picasso to seal the deal with that really nice short touch into a flick to the backboard, and then scoring it to seal it. That is some really great possession play, and I mean, I think Kodiaks need to start sending more people at the ball faster and having somebody be ready for that ball once it goes past them.
Definitely. I mean, good play overall from the Kodiak side. 3-0. It sounds like a lot more of a deficit than it probably really was for the game, but great control from Violence. Despite the Kodiak pressure, they ultimately ended up being on the back foot a little bit more. But 7 saves from the side of Violence, 6 saves from the side of Kodiaks. The shots are definitely going on net here for both teams, Rex. But the Violence walks away with goal number 1, and K9 with the MVP according to the scoreboard, and frankly, in my eyes, the MVP for that first game as well.
Yeah, he really came out swinging. So that first goal from K9, that can a first goal of the game that can swing momentum really hard. So I
Yeah,
think that definitely played a role there.
I would agree, but we're going to get into game number 2 here. Violence up 1-0, but every one of these games matters, as I said. So the Kodiaks looking to potentially get this game 2 down. They're looking for their first goal of the series to potentially get their a little bit of that offensive confidence. Papa Khan trying to take control of it to the right side, does get popped over. Scrooms gets a touch, but it's not the best. K9 looking for a shot here, doesn't get it. Bolby gets one instead, but Nick Knock there for the save. Nick Knock plays it slow, I think low on boost it looks like. Papa Khan gets dunked by Picasso. A shot coming down, but nothing super threatening. Scrooms there in time. 0 boost though, so trying to figure out what to do. Nick Knock actually does calm him off and gets the clear. Nick Knock gets a shot opportunity. It's there. Papa Khan is up, puts it into the mid. Scrooms there for the shot. A great save there by Bolby though, and now it's threatening. Picasso trying to get this counterattack. Nick Knock trying to dodge the demo from K9. Instead can't hit the ball, and Picasso slots it through. And K9, despite not getting any stats there, definitely was a huge catalyst for that first goal, Rex.
Yeah, he was up his butt the whole way, and he just could not get away from him. And Picasso really smartly played. He sends it off the post back to himself as we get a shot. Holy cow! But just to like fake Nick Knock out for the shot, so that opened the net wide up. And K9 and Picasso, an own goal.
Oh. Yeah, definitely was able to clear out the goal, but right here, Bolby gets a touch off the side. Nick Knock trying to clear it. I think the touch itself was a good thing to go for. It looked like Picasso was right there ready to shoot, but just didn't really get around it like they wanted to. Instead, kind of put it right into the net, unfortunately for the Kodiak side. They start the game down 2-0, which is definitely not what they were potentially looking for coming out of the game 1 loss. Nick Knock gets a demo on the Bolby, gets it over the top, is Scrooms, gets another touch. This is really dangerous, an opportunity. He takes it away from Papa Khan, who had a shot, potentially a comms issue there. Nick Knock tried to get the squishy, I can't even remember the name of that, but tries to get the pinch off the wall, getting it to clear over the side. Didn't get it. K9 pass out to Bolby, off the top. K9 still here, but low boost. Picasso instead takes the shot. Really dangerous kind of idea there, sending the third man up so far, but they don't get punished for it. Kodiak's not really ready to counterattack quite yet. Nick Knock takes control of the ball, has 100 boost, goes up for it, tries to dunk Bolby. Bolby, but doesn't get up there. Another clear over to the, trying to get to the mid of the field for a potential shot opportunity. Nothing really coming out of it though. Scrooms does miss, but a pass from Papakan to Scrooms was a potential opportunity. And as we're getting up to the halfway point here, Rex, what do you think the Kodiaks need to do to potentially get back in this game here?
They need to start passing infield. The backboard's not working. Every single time they've hit it on the back wall, Picasso, Bolby, K9, they've all been there. So they just have to start sending it at the middle of the field and having people be there. And also, in my opinion, they need to get out of each other's way a little bit. Open, give a little bit of space to your team. Let stuff develop a little bit more. And, go from there.
Yeah, definitely good advice. Especially because you're going against a team that's really fast like Violence, and definitely can kind of find yourselves probably a little bit, stuck in the rotation, a little bit cluttered on each other. But we're going to get to the 2-minute mark. Kodiaks looking to return 2 goals of their own here to potentially tie it up and send it to overtime with Violence, or 3 to take the victory. A9 gets a pass out to mid to Picasso. Picasso smartly was going to go off the sidewall, but Papakan does get there. Gets a touch on it. Didn't get the double, but gets underneath it. Bolby with a great challenge to send it over the top. Scrooms doesn't get the touch they needed, but K9 puts it out to the middle. Kind of confusing the situation there. Bolby sent it to the middle as well. Knick-Knock kind of just floats it at the net. Maybe looking for Papa there on that play, but didn't really get it all the way over. Scrooms looking for the control. Gets 50 by Picasso unfavorably. Clear coming out here for the Kodiaks. Bolby will control that. Tries to get to the corner. A little bit awkward, but does get it out. Papakan does beat him there. Gets 50. Can't get the second touch. Picasso, actually didn't get the second touch. Looked like they potentially had it. K9 tries to control this. Gets it, a pass down to Bolby. Great play there. Nobody on that side to finish the counterattack, but a great play to get the clear out. Papa looks for the potential 50 there. Scrooms. Actually, surprisingly, K9 not touching the ball. A little bit of a kind of pop out from Picasso. Knick-Knock kind of just, again, floats it at the net. Not really what Kodiaks kind of wanted here. And we're getting to the 42nd mark, Rex, and it's just looking more and more like Violence are going to kind of run away with this game too here.
Yeah, they can't seem to get out of each other's way on the Kodiak side. I mean, they've had some really nice looks. They've had some really great passes, and I mean, you mentioned earlier that you think that Violence is just too fast, or like they're just the speed. They are a fast team, but I mean, I've seen some really great speed from Scrooms and Papakan, and Knick-Knock at times. So like, I don't necessarily think there's a speed issue. It's just they're not seeing each other. They keep running into each other, or they're too close. And I mean, if you watch Violence, every single ball that they hit goes to a teammate. It's always, or it's like relieve some pressure, or it's hard for the Kodiaks to get to it after Violence touch the ball. And I think Kodiaks, they just have to start taking some deep breaths. Hey, that's two games already. There's still 2 games left. Every game matters, so just do your best for these next 2.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like we will be getting a server change here, going to the West server. And while we're kind of making the switch here, looking at the stats for that game, Bolby comes in with the MVP for the match according to the Rocket League scoreboard, and definitely saw a little bit more of that dominance that statistically he's showing in the elite tier. But really, honestly, from the side of Violence, like kind of like you said, their spacing is really good. It's really just, it seems to be more of team play that's kind of pushing them here. It definitely doesn't really look like Bolby is kind of that one-man carry show that maybe the stats kind of allude to. K9 and Picasso both are contributing just as much, and at this point, they're kind of like a 3-man force here, and I think shutting down Bolby wouldn't really be enough for a team coming like into a series with Violence.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think Bolby is the one that just sinks it. That's odd, but you got K9 who creates this really great pressure by he steals boost. He's in your face. He won't leave you alone. How do you get away from him? And then you have Picasso who makes these really great possession touches and passes to his team, and it just opens so many opportunities for them to score, for Bolby to shoot, and they seem to be finding so many of them against the Kodiaks. It's just the Kodiaks need to start, creating some chaos, see if they can disrupt that.
Definitely. We're going to be getting into game 3 here. It is 2-0 in favor of Violence. Kodiaks looking for those game 3 and game 4 wins, potentially get this series tied up. Ooh, an unfortunate, kind of a little bit of a lack of comms there on the double commit. But Blender will be coming in here for Scrooms. So the substitution, which I don't think is necessarily a bad idea for sure, could potentially kind of pay dividends. We will have to see as we get further into this game. But right now, Violence, Picasso kind of popped it up a little bit. Nicknock tried to get the redirect, wasn't quite there. Blender and Bolby do 50 each other. Papa Khan there to kind of try to follow it up. Nicknock there as well. Really quick play coming out from the side of the Kodiaks right now, but unfortunately no shot ended up coming out from it. Blender, great read on Bolby's touch there, and it was able to get the dunk. Papa Khan as well, not really a true 50, more of a dunk there. Nicknock controlling it to the corner side. Blender is up. And we did move to West Coast, by the way, for those curious. So it really does look like the Kodiaks have the massive advantage when it comes to ping on these West servers. Surprisingly, K9 also at 28 ping as well. So, Rex, if you're on the field, do you think the ping potentially is a significant advantage, or does it not really affect you and your play?
When you get up there, like all of these players are, I mean, these people are, 1,500, 1,600? Maybe even up in 1,700 at this point. It really does make... It's tiny differences, but those tiny differences build up and they add up over time. So I would say there's definitely a huge difference between, 28 ping and 72 or 92 ping. You feel it a little bit.
All right, we will see if that will potentially favor the Kodiaks here. They definitely have the advantage on that. K9 going to catch this in the middle, and we are getting closer and closer to the halfway mark, and no score coming out from either team so far. Kodiaks, unfortunately, yet to score in this series. They'll be looking to get their first one, and I definitely think that they have the offensive pressure there. It's just Violence. Great defense, great spacing and rotations. Definitely are going to be a tough nut to crack, but Kodiaks are looking to see if they can do it. Papa Khan will potentially take this controlling clear. Does get a nice boom out. Bolby gets demoed by Blender, and that touch by K9 could potentially lead to some awkward situations. Blender puts it underneath the defender that was challenging. Papa Khan is there, puts it off the wall. Oh, kind of a downward bounce. Not really what they were likely wanting. Picasso gets the opportunity to get a clear out. Nicknock, a touch to the sidewall. Looked like more of a controlling touch, but wasn't able to follow up. Papa Khan, a dangerous quest for boost, but does not get punished for it. Blender trying to challenge this. It gets knocked up into the air. Oh, good speed from Picasso there, sorry. Nicknock definitely had a shot opportunity. Papa Khan gets the dunk off the top. Nicknock, a great touch out to the middle. Bolby runs into Papa Khan, who is there, and Papa Khan gets demoed. They kind of tag teamed up on him. A great demo though coming out from Nicknock, and Papa Khan, unfortunately though, off the demo, not really there to challenge it. And Blender is just murdering people left and right. And when you're kind of down, Rex, honestly, I kind of like the idea of going for some more physical play, some more demos to potentially kind of free some space up for your team.
I can't help but laugh a little bit. He's just a headhunter for this team, and it's opening so many doors. They're just, it's a tilt play. It's, it's fun. It's really annoying to be demoed that much, and that can create a little bit of frustration. So you're in their head a little bit, and I think the Blender swap was the right choice. They are. This is the best I think they've looked. The most out of the way of each other they have looked all series. Right. And Violence, they're struggling. They don't know how to handle this. Like, the ball has been in their half for most of the field, or most of the game.
Yeah, definitely. But Bolby, shot opportunity. Not really going to miss a lot of those. Blender coming from the counterattack. Doesn't get the dunk on it. K9 gets it over, but Nicknock is here. Does get the dunk. Blender's going to be up. Takes the shot. Gets it down. It's one favorite of the Kodiaks. 20 seconds left, and they get their first goal of the series, and it's the first goal of the game. And I mean, just like you said, right away, like that's not a play that was going to happen, I think, with Scrooms and the lineup. Blender creating that spacing, getting over to the side, and a beautiful pass and shot from the Kodiaks. And now they just going to have to stave off this Violence counterattack here off the kickoff, which they do. 10 seconds left, Rex. And honestly, Kodiaks looking like they are now. They're looking a lot more threatening right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing what I said. They're getting out of each other's way, and they're getting in Violence's face. They don't have as much room to breathe as they did before. I mean, before they made the swap, you know, they were, you know, all over each other. They couldn't get out of each other's way, and here we got Blender, who's spacing out nicely, giving everybody some room, and I mean, he's beating the crap out of them. I think he had like 5 demos or something that game. Like, jeez.
I wish we had a demolition stat like that showed up on the scoreboard, because aside from the obvious tilt factor, the other team seeing it. I mean, yeah, you're right. Blender just came in, was extremely physical and extremely aggressive, and I really don't think Violence was quite ready for it. It really kind of threw them off, and the Kodiaks had those openings that they really weren't having in game 1 and game 2, and all it took was, you know, taking advantage of one of them, and funny enough, it was Blender the one taking advantage of it as well, you know, and they do take their first win of the series, and a really crucial one too right here. You know, you're 1-2 coming off of a really great game 3, going into game 4, potentially can tie up I'm pretty sure the chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Violence is number 1 in Elite right now. So a great team to be kind of going toe to toe with here.
Yeah, and I mean, you can even look at the stat difference of that game. Like, they only had, like, what, 2 shots and no goals that game? And, I mean, Blender was just, I mean, creating all these holes by just deleting the players in them. And he gets a goal right here off kickoff. What a nutcase.
Blender coming in, hard to say super sub because, you know, they're all kind of even in games, but still, subbed in and just demos and goals, making an impact, has all the goals for the Kodiak side in this series, and starts it off with a Kodiak 1-0 lead, something we haven't really seen. I mean, we haven't even seen an early goal from the Kodiaks, so definitely a good way to start the game, but they're going to have to continue to stick to it. Oh, a little bit of a miss there from Blender, but Nicknock gets to clear out. Blender there for the pass, not quite fast enough. Picasso does get there quick. Papa Khan probably looked to catch that a little bit closer to their car. A nice touch there by K9. Gets a pass out to the middle. Picasso's there to shoot. Blender, though, does get the clear. Trying to carry it away. Bolby with the challenge over the top, but nobody there to really help him out. Nick Knock sends it to the side. It looks like Blender. Oh, I had a feeling Blender was over there. Shot opportunity. Didn't quite get it on net, though. Papa Khan keeps it onto the offensive half. Nick Knock as well. Gets the 50 down. Blender coming in really fast and aggressive. Didn't really get the kind of look they wanted, though, so they will back out. Papa Khan has an opportunity here. It's going off the backboard, but a nice clear there by K9. Definitely really good backboard play, I think. Violence is really, really, really solid on the backboard, and something you mentioned was that getting it onto the backboard is not going to be super effective for the Kodiak side, and I think that continues to maintain here, Rex. Oh my goodness, no
coming
way.
in. Can I just be real for a second? Blender has just changed his whole team.
Yep.
This team looks so different with him on it, and I mean, it's because of his decision making. I mean, there was one where he went to go look for a shot, but then he decided to fake, and it brought out 2 defenders from Violence. And then suddenly now you got 2 people who are flailing at a ball. And meanwhile, there's 2 people who can look to shoot from the Kodiaks. This is such great, intelligent play from Blender, and Papa Khan and Nick Knock are just filling in right behind him. They're making it work with him. And I think Violence are struggling to really find their footing.
Yeah, and it's that spacing that you were talking about, like, and especially something that physical play will kind of open up. It'll allow you to kind of space a little bit better, especially when you have somebody that's a little bit more aggressive up there. But, you know, definitely great play by Blender here getting subbed in, and I definitely think that the demos on top of the US West server change. I know some people get really, really frustrated when you switch servers to the West servers. I definitely think that those can combine, but Bolby, a little bit of a mistake. Papa Khan kind of in an awkward situation, having to jump over the top of K9 to get to that ball. Didn't quite get there, and Bolby slots it in for the first goal from Violence. And, you know, that's definitely what Violence needed to kind of, like, get their heads back on straight here, Rex, to get potentially, you know, back in and take away this game 4 for the series win.
I mean, that was their first goal in like 7 minutes, and it didn't even put them up. They're still a little bit behind, and they still got some work to do. But I mean, they're taking that physical play and they're sending it right back at the Kodiaks, and it got them a goal there.
Yeah, I mean it's always tough to kind of answer demos with demos, but definitely the bump like kind of threat was a huge factor. K9 trying to get that second goal for Violence. We're getting to the halfway point. Violence is up 2-1 in this series, but right now 2-1 is the Kodiaks upper hand here in this game 4. Well, we didn't quite get the touch. They won it out to the midfield. K9 is controlling this, has a lot of boost. Papakan was there to challenge. It looks like Nick Knock not quite fast enough, but Blender does get it over to the side wall. It gets bumped though, so Bolby's gonna win that race to the ball. Papakan very smartly gets a quick touch out, and Nick Knock, that's a great dunk to potentially get some pressure off. But Blender, is that on net? Oh my goodness, it was so close. Papakan, good reaction time to keep it on the offensive side. Blender is on that sidewall, gets the dunk over the top. Bolby's going to be going to challenge, but does kind of miss, but Nick Knock gets faked by, but Nick Knock gets a good demo. Picasso, quick to get back, but Blender is here for the shot. That was West Servers. That was a really awkward little ghost touch there. And Violence, though, they do clear out the pressure here. Now on the offensive half, Papakan, risky decision to go back for it, but does get a good half flip to potentially get control here. Blender has a shot opportunity, goes out to mid. Nick Knock is there, great speed. Blender turns. Picasso gets the right touch though, and good idea there from Blender to get that back pass to Papakan. Papakan does get there first, but kind of a awkward little touch there with the wheels. But Papakan is gonna get the redirect down into the wall. This is just insane right now. 2-1 in favor of the Kodiaks, and Violence, they're just kind of scrambling. But they have counterattack opportunities. So if you're on the Kodiak side, you can't send your third guy up too far. That is definitely one of the biggest risks, I think, when you're up in the lead with not very much time left, Rex.
Oh my gosh, I would be mauling. Oh, that's actually just in right there. That brings them right back into it.
Exactly what I was saying.
Throughout this whole game, there's been like 3 different play styles from Violence. There's the one where they started off the series where they were kicking their butt, and then they had one where they're like, okay, well, if you're gonna beat the crap out of us, we'll just beat the crap out of you. And then when that didn't work, now they've kind of blended both of those to a bit of like, I'll beat you up, but I'll also possess the ball better, and that's just returned a goal in their favor.
Oh, and an opportunity. Blender, really good shadow defense there on Picasso. Definitely was a scary situation. Yeah, 2-2 now. Kodiaks, they're going to need to kind of find an answer for the 2 unanswered goals from the Violence side. Really awkward. Nobody really had a read on that ball. Bolby puts it over to the sidewall, trying to get a pass out to middle. Doesn't quite reach it, though, but a shot comes off. That's Picasso putting it on the backside of the Kodiaks net. And they find themselves up 3-2 after being down all game long. Within 30 seconds, as the final seconds are kind of ticking off, they find themselves in the lead here, Rex.
Yeah, that was some really great communication from, I think, K9, or was it Bolby? No, it was Bolby off the ceiling. I bet you he told Picasso, he's like, I can't hit this. So Picasso sneaks up. Oh, is that a goal? Oh, no! Oh my god, what a heartbreaker.
Oh no. That is so unfortunate for the Kodiaks. They get it over the top. It was just right in front, and Papakan couldn't get there in time. I think low on boost. But that will be Violence taking the 3-2 Game 4 victory and taking the 3-1 series win. Honestly, a great series. But Violence, they definitely kind of dominated the first 2 games here. But Kodiaks, with that Blender substitution,